Hello, I'm Pamela Allen. Welcome to Think Like an Artist. Before we start, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I wasn't always an artist, although I always wanted to be an artist. For the first 12 years of my adult life, I was a lab technologist. But sooner or later, I discovered that I did not want to stare down a microscope the rest of my life. So the little question that came to my mind is, what would you do if you weren't a lab technologist? And I said, I want to be an artist. So I did that. I went back to art school and I graduated with a BFA, and happily I also graduated with an MRS because my husband now is my former painting professor. Okay, now the thing that I've done by choosing these large shapes first is I've established the scale in relation to the size of the work, and I've also established a sort of sight line. I'm already thinking that I want my viewer to explore all of the rectangle, not just a central or focal point. So I've got this is going to be my largest shape. Now it's starting to talk to me because I know this has successfully been popped away, but these stripes on stripes are kind of not, it's not telling us where the object ends and the background begins. So I have to find another fabric sympathetic to what I have already to make that pop. Now, maybe we should try this dreaded crepey stuff. It's actually fun, this is. I can't lie to you, it's not easy to work with, but it's not impossible either. And we can use it with spray based, so that will adhere most of it and it won't shift when you go to quilt it. Well, that's not bad. And it does pop it. And I'll cut off this little bit here, which is the seam of the shirt that this came from. All right, now we have to think about some other objects. Do I want them to be, I'm going to make it just a conventional still life. So we're going to go for fruit now. This is called a Crone of Crazy. It's one of my first quilts, and it's one that I thought that made me think that, yeah, I think I'm onto something here. I love all the embellishments on this particular one, especially the fruit the pears that are part of the breast of the figure. It's called Crone of Crazy because she's actually sewing. She has a stuffed hand, a glove in fact, 3D, and she's got a sewing needle. But the crazy part doesn't refer only to the sewing, it also refers to the patchwork nature of her body. And there I was beginning, you see, to understand that I could mix and match fabrics, and I could make a monumental figure, and I could embellish it with simple ideas, but different ideas. So I have eggs, I have safety pins, I have bobbins, I believe, and that was just the beginning. The name of this quilt is Bird in Hand, and I'm making a statement about gossip actually with this, but kind of tongue-in-cheek. The little bird told me, and then it goes on to the neighbor, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is what this quilt is talking about. I also think this is kind of a milestone quilt for me because I'm no longer timid about my quilting, and I'm beginning to take some risks with using objective imagery in my quilting. You can especially see it up in the top of this quilt. And once this started to happen, there was no looking back for me. I no longer did echo quilting. I was always looking in my head for different kinds of imagery to put into my quilting. Now, also this one contains symbols that you will see over and over again in my work. They sort of represent the function of a woman, her history, the most obvious being that she's a mother, and therefore eggs to me are very symbolic, and I can buy them online by the bag, and they're easy to sew because they're made of plastic and you can put your needle right through them. So this one has a lot of that reference in it. Right, 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 right.